being, but he can still
Wait, are you
partake.
saying like other gods? Are you saying like other gods have like some sort of essence
Yeah.
that's outside of the things that we see then?
Yeah, because you look in the scan right here. I'll just read it out in 1 second. Let me go to it real quick. For better or worse,
But
there
what
is
would
no.
the scans do? You can just like explain it.
Yeah, I'll just explain it. For better or worse, there is no such thing as a change in the God class. There may be some who run up to God by changing, but there are none who change after becoming God. Such are human passions. God is immutable. They will always be like that. The fact that the
Nigga, are
God,
you reading from ChatGPT or some shit? What the fuck? I'm
I,
so confused.
I,
Like,
I
why you
read it.
talking like that? All
I read it from the scan, buddy. But listen, the whole entire point is
how's the
that
scan?
yeah, when we say like ineffable, that's in reference to their being. An ineffable being can take course or can take action. Like what the hell? As long as like their essence
Okay,
itself
let me
being
read your
God,
scan. Your scan seems sus. I ain't gonna lie, but
it's
like
from the
it's so explicit. Like the way like
it
hold on, let me
comes
read
from the
you.
interview. It
Better
comes from
for
the
is there
interview.
such a thing as changing God class? There
Do
may
you
be
do you want this word?
some who run. Hold on, let me read first. There may be some who run up to godhood by changing, but there are none who can change after becoming godhood. A god, okay. Such are human passions. God is immutable. They'll always be like that. Wait, like so here? Did you talk about other gods, or they just talk about Naraka? Because
They're
it
just
only makes sense if they talk about Naraka.
they're just talking about like the how to and go to gods in general. Right? I don't they because when they mention Naraka, like they'll name drop him for Naraka. I mean, even for like the gods, they have like a medicine that say like they like their being is that I am, therefore I am. For Naraka, um, all we get about his ontology is that
Nigga,
like
that's every being because every being is identical to it. So if you're saying nothing when you say that, but sure, continue.
totally, bro. For Naraka,
I
we
mean, yeah, it's true. I know.
yeah, for Naraka, whenever his like ontology is mentioned, like they'll name drop his name, and then two, we already know what his being is. It's just a little emotional thing that's distinct from like everything else and within the verse. Think it was like the root and the connection to the root. It's kind of something similar to that.
Yeah, and this does what? Like,
Yeah,
I'm
this
so bored at this point.
yeah, we
Go
can
on.
just yeah, we can just wrap it up here if you're bored, bro. Um, the
No,
point
like, not like, could repeat what you said again. I just want to hear if it's something interesting.
yeah, the point was that this is in reference to the gods not undergoing any sort of action, accidents, or any sort of new beginning or new potential. And like the way you described it itself just kind of seemed like question begging. Like they become what they become once they take a step to become. Like it just seemed really redundant, which is why I was caught off guard by it. But if you want to,
That's not what I
uh,
said. I said your characters fight, so that's why I asked. Do you think like there's some like essence that exists independent of the characters that fight somewhere else or some shit like that? Because you reference as the essence of God as an example, which sure, whatever. But what does that have to do
yeah,
with your
uh,
character?
well, yes, because the gods or the Hadu and Godu gods, well, actually no. Well, for them, yes, but and for like the seventh, I forgot her name, Amaterasu. Yes, we know that like the god's true form. It's just like the divine throne itself, which just doesn't undergo anything really. Like the divine throne.
The divine throne created, wasn't it created like the divine throne by like I'm pretty sure it wasn't like in the first heaven or some shit like that, the specifics. But it was created after like Shingra, like they whatever they did or they reached the uh coordinates of the beginning or some shit like that.
What?
So like
No,
how would
no,
it
no,
be
no.
unchanging?
Yeah, no. My bad. Misspoke. One for Shinga, she just simply created like the throne itself, not the divine throne. Secondly, what is it?
That's the difference between the throne and the divine
Uh,
throne. I mean, isn't the divine throne the characters that what do they call the rangers who reached the coordinates of beginning, then they became like the throne or some shit?
listen. We'll get to all that later. Kind of relevant. The main point that I'm getting at is that the beings of which you see
I
that
mean, it
the
is relevant
hold on. We'll get
because I'm
to
still confused as to where's the separate
hold
essence.
on,
It's like unchangeable.
hold on. We'll get to it later. The main point in reference is that this immutability, this unchanging nature or undying nature, is simply just going to be a reference to their non corporeal form, their non physical forms. Because like they project avatars like
Corporal, bro.
But when they
Corporal.
fight, they're really non-physical when they fight. So what's the difference? Like, why are you making that a
uh,
distinction when it's not relevant
well,
to whether or not the characters can change?
well, a non physical being can partake and change while not being immutable. That's very retarded to respond to me with. Like that only works if
I did not say that's not the
hold
case. I said,
on.
why did you talk about your gods being non-physical and the ones that we see are physical or some shit like that? That's why I say it doesn't seem like it's relevant.
I just explained how irrelevant, bro. Non-physical beings
Okay, can
don't.
you explain how? Maybe I was not like listening or some shit. Maybe I'm not tracking, but you can explain again.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, you're not tracking.
Non-physical beings. You saw Hermes?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, my bad, little nigga. Non-physical
Yeah,
beings
you're not
don't.
tracking.
Okay, let's repeat it. Non-corporeal beings or what is it? Non-physical beings don't partake anything. Physical beings seem to be partaking in these said actions. That's kind of all there is. Like what
Wait,
we see.
what?
What are we confused on, bro?
Like I'm just confused on the relevance of this. Like, initially I was confused as to why like you're making the distinction between them being physical and non-physical. When all I just asked is like, is there some like separate essence that's like quote unquote unchanging?
Wait,
Because
hold
you did
on.
make an
Hold on.
analogy with God having an essence that's unchanging, even when His effects allow for becoming within the manifested world.
Yo, do you know the serve gods is outside of corporeal reality, bro? Did you know that? Bro, got fucking stun locked. Never mind. Yo, toxic, bro.
What's up?
Someone told me you lost a careless,
আর
bro. Is
খাবো
that
না
true?
মিষ্টি এই মাত্র খাইছি
Yeah, it's
তারপরে খাবো
true, bro.
Oh shit. Yo, GG, bro.
Yeah, man,
Yeah, you
everyone
pulled
in
out
this
that
comedy
ass.
talks like at least once in
Like,
their
like
life.
young God, like he pulled out that absolute hack shit, and I couldn't handle it. It was so tragic, bro.
You fucking died to that shit, bro.
Yeah,
Damn, it's unfortunate.
yeah. Who's any minis or however you pronounce that name? He looks like he's super cold and like so philosophical.
Inanimis.
Yeah, who are you,
Anyway,
mate? You look like you're really cold.
I am that I am. But I'm leaving now. This shit was suicide
Oh, that's
induced.
Plutus, bro. Plutus got no fucking aura,
Oh,
bro.
that's Plutus. Oh, that makes sense. Like,
Yeah, Plutus got no fucking aura, bro. Don't worry about him.
I was gonna ask him a question, like about his problems with my definition of change. Nigga broke free when I was about to talk to him. Damn, is that aura?
Yo, it's scary, bro.
On
Yeah,
God,
Aries
like,
thinks I'm actually still recording. Yeah, he dead ass thinks I'm still recording, bro. Someone let him know.
yeah, I think he's going a lot in the debate. He does not want to lose this recording.
Oh
Bro,
my
he wants
god,
this.
I can
He wants
finally
his
have a
feed, bro.
feed against Toxic.
Yeah, he wants his toxic win, bro.
Oh,
I
this
don't.
this picture is killing me. Like, where's Apollo's furniture? Yo, this nigga
Okay,
got nothing. What's going on, bro?
I'm back. I'm back. So yeah, the main relevance, or I guess the reason why I'm confused, is that there's two arguments that was brought up. One was the nature of an apathetic being. How can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, we can
yeah,
hear you,
yeah,
buddy.
All right, thank you. Because like the
yeah.
notification
He's definitely still recording too. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm recording.
that ass for me. If you're, oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
he's totally
No, the
recording.
other dude's recording. The dude of the A, Anarchy's recording.
you stopped recording,
Yeah, I stopped recording, but Anarchy's still recording. Yeah.
Yeah,
and I
I'm still recording.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
thank.
recording.
Oh my gosh, here we go. We can just wrap it up after this. We're going a little too long. The whole
Yeah,
point was
true.
that the apathetic being,
True.
uh, what is it like their immutability, ineffability, changing. That's in reference to like their literal being or essence, and not anything external to that. Then I brought up another argument how assuming what is it that a being who is apathetic, what is it, cannot undergo any sort of change, including things external to their essence, we then just say, okay, well, the gods have this divine essence. Distinct from this essence, they have this physical avatar, which we see in verse, which is what they're fighting with, to which I guess you got confused with. So do you want to respond to that? If not, we can just wrap it up here.
Oh yeah. It's when we got into whether or not the divine throne was like created or something like that. And I
Okay.
remember like vividly like the divine throne being created insofar as it is like It's something that was who are these guys again? The Rangers that were implemented into it, and it became
Oh,
constitutive of the divine throne.
oh yeah, that presupposes that like their essence is the divine throne.
Well, wait, what? Didn't you say like their essence is the divine throne, and that divine throne is unchanging?
I
Why are
said
you
I
saying
missed.
that's another essence?
I said I
Or
missed.
are you saying this? Oh, you
I
misspoke.
yeah, Roberto said after that like I said like I misspoke and I didn't mean to say that, which is why I said like we can just
Okay,
think about that.
okay. Then, is there any evidence that there's like some separate essence rather than them being like unchanging insofar as like they're just like
Oh,
as far as
I
like
can just
structural
send you.
relations, wait, but they're just like unchanging so far as they're just like structural relations, the same way like function spaces would define change without it necessarily being physical, why they're just like unchanging insofar as like their essence is like
Whoa, whoa,
like
hold on, hold on.
in an apathetic sense. So like in what way are they like
Multiple things are like being
are
brought
they
up.
unchanging?
So you said like structural functions, right? Are you just like asking me like in what way is like what's unchanging? Because like what's like structural functions? Like again, layman terms, layman terms.
Like in function analysis, you can have like spaces that are abstract, but they still define change in a representational sense, or through like structural relations. But if it's the case that your characters are unchanging in that sense, then you have structure. If they have structure, then they're not ineffable. But if it's the case that you talk about in like a theological sense, then you would have to like posit some sort of like external evidence. But that also will be presupposing the fact that your character is unchanging in a theological sense.
And unchanging. Oh yes, when we say unchanging like a theological sense, you're referring to again the ineffability of like the ape.
Yeah,
Oh,
something
yeah,
like actus purus.
yeah. So like they're really distinct accesses, like at best. Because like on this panel, actually, hold on, let me just like check the server real quick. Give me a second.
Yeah, what would be the essence that's so-called unchanging? And is there any evidence that it's unchanging rather than it being a presupposition that it's not some structural unchanging particular?
Well, if it's like a structural unchanging, one, like I said earlier,
Structurally unchanging, sorry. I misspoke. I meant
yeah,
to say like structurally unchanging. Structurally unchanging. Alright,
yeah,
you can
like
go ahead.
yeah, there's just 2 points, right? One, like I said, extremely earlier and earlier that I'm fine with like these characters being like P's and not P's, or like they're ineffable and not ineffable. But then secondly, um, I'll just like
Yeah,
get
then we
the
can conclude.
yeah, let's look at these scans real quick. When you say like what their essence is, like at best, like I could just send you more scans that talk about this distinct thing that we see or that the
Blah
author
blah
talked
blah
about.
blah.
Please don't do that, anarchy. So like
Yeah,
at best,
please don't do it, Ricky.
yeah, don't worry. At best, like I said, I can just send you more about like this unchanging divine thing, distinct from what we see on screen, which would be like the divine essence that you're asking for, and not like a presupposition, as there
No,
is a
you can no, I don't think it would necessitate the fact that characters are like unchanging in a theological sense because they can have avatars, then their so-called unchanging sense unchanging like essence can be something that's still like structural.
like you said
Or they're
earlier.
unchanging insofar as they're just structural relates.
Well, like you said earlier, if one or monad, the monad is unchanging enough of a being, yet it emanates things
Your
that
character's not the monad though.
the whole point is to draw an analogy. I'm not saying that these niggas are the monad because they're not tier zero. Like, it's kind of the point, bro. If you want, we can
Yeah,
skip
but
it.
if they're not okay, so if they're not a monad, then there's something that's like compositional, and if that's the case, then they're not like ineffable again.
No, 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 and yes. Secondly, one, the whole point, the only like similarities that they showed on the
What do you?
monad.
Okay, if
Yeah.
it's like
Okay,
a
hold on, hold on.
logical
Okay, wait, hold on,
contradiction
hold
thing,
on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
it's fine.
Okay,
Not
when we
supposed
say
to just
they're
be
not a
concluded.
monad, they're going to be a monad in a sense that they have one distinct similarity, that being this unmutability, this ineffability. But they're not going to be a monad in a sense where like they predate all of creation, they give rise to all of creation, they emanate all of creation. So yes, they're not going to have all of the similarities, but the most important one that the
Okay,
most
so
important thing that
if they're a derivative of another being, then they will still have composition.
they have,
So how would
no,
they the
that's
first
not
class have like wait what? What's the problem? You want to
that,
say
that's
something?
not that's not what I said. We can end it here or conclude.
Okay, repeat what you said again.
Um, what I said was well the initial argument or like what I said in response.
What you said like before I responded.
Before you responded, I just said that the only similarity that they changed, that they not changed, what is it? Have is ineffability, logically speaking, but they did not show like the whole entire being, that being that the monad is something that like emits all reality, it transcends reality, it predates reality. They have these like descriptive things about them, but in totality, No, so bringing that, it's not about that, therefore debunk is just dumb.
That's not the point of the debunk. The point of the debunk was that they can be compositional if they're not monads, and if they're a derivative of a higher being, because
Yeah,
the higher being would make them definite.
to which I
And
just said,
they're also causally bound by potency, and if they're causally bound by that have metaphysical parts, if they have metaphysical parts, then it's still not going to be like truly an actus purus or theological level of unchangingness.
yeah, kind of just what I asked earlier for proof, but we can just conclude, bro.
I
We're
didn't
talking
need proof. I was just asking you, like, how would you derive that? Because you're
about the
presupposing that.
live.
Like, how would you derive the fact that it's in theological sense when it could have just been in a structural sense? But you said, okay, they have a separate essence. Even if they have a separate essence, they can have an avatar. The essence can still be unchanging insofar as it's like a structural relation thing, not just like a physical change or becoming in a physical sense.
I'll repeat like the last part.
Yeah, like if it's the case that they can still have like avatars and still have like a separate essence, and the separate essence can be unchanging insofar as it's still like a structured thing, or it's like unchanging insofar as it's just like pure relations, without it being like unchanging in a theological sense, especially if you already agree to the fact that the character is not really a monad and it's a derivative of another character, which is the Naraka in this case.
Yeah, so the derivative just wouldn't be the Naraka, as the
Yeah,
Naraka did not.
they also have metaphysical parts too. So
Yeah, well, no, the Naraka is just simply just being like, how can I explain him? The best analogy is that he's just the Wuji within Taoist. Like he's just not. That's like the best way to explain him. But I've already like pointing out how you're saying this conclude here.
yeah, sure. I don't know, like I'm
Hmm.
not gonna conclude. I'm just gonna leave it like that.
Same here, like I don't have anything else to say. Anarchy
Hop on
King.
Okay, bro.
Monopoly, bro. Everyone hop on Monopoly, bro.
Anarchy, can you send me the rec?
It's gonna be like 3 gigabytes, so yeah, after some time.
Convert it to MP3, bro.
Is
You
that the
can
is
do
that
that.
the
Like just
yeah?
extract the MP3 out of CapCut.
Just put it in cap.
This nigga is just
Put it. Oh wait, let me unmute that. What was like your boy? I mean your son's whatever the nigga name is. What was his name?
Axel. You talk about Axel, the nigga who begged me to be his brother. Is he even still here? Like that would be crazy dedication if he's still here.
No, he
Nah, he
left.
left. I was like, what? Okay, this nigga is definitely gay for me for sure.
Hey man, we all want that toxic rhetoric, bro.
Yeah, Chaos, he's gay. You can probably sexualize him now.
Oh,
My
somebody can
God,
rip.
Aries has such a feminine voice, bro. It's actually insane.
Oh, do you want like a JOI, bro?
Nah, I just
Hmm?
want to crack you.
Yeah,
Off
he's
Like
super
I'm gonna
gay.
spread your ass cheeks and put my dick.
moments from off limits. But yeah,
Yeah, hold on. So recordings and oh fuck, hold on. This